Yo, yo, yo. Oh, damn. Meredith just got home. Hey. All right. She got home from Pilates, and I am leaving to go to the gym. I'm skipping all the, the normal morning intro that I do, because typically at that point, it's like when I wake up and my energy just isn't really that high. And I was kind of rewatching some of the videos, and I felt like that part was a little bit boring. So we're going straight to the car, after the vitamins, after the journaling. And today, we are going to talk about, I already talked about why wholesaling is the best way to get into real estate. But I'm going to explain to you more in depth of why it's better than all the other strategies you guys are always hearing about, right? So I'm thinking about this. I'm basically going to rank every single strategy for getting into real estate. And I'm going to base it off a few things. How much startup capital is required? How long does this strategy take to start making money? What is the potential profit from doing a deal in this strategy? What are the potential losses by doing this strategy? And also, how much specialized knowledge do you need to know, right? Meaning like specialized knowledge, licenses, like what, like things that you can't just Google, okay? So, the strategies we're gonna look at, or I'm gonna think about, are number one, let's talk about fixing and flipping, okay? As far as startup capital required, dude, I got a bug. The problem, I've had my top down. Get out of here. Get out of here. Scram. This is gonna piss me off. Whatever. Fuck it. All right. Also, I've had the top down in my car. That's why there's like dust and stuff. I know. So the first strategy we're gonna look at is fix and flipping. Startup capital required, okay? The median home price in the United States of America is $400,000. Now, the way that most people fix and flip houses, they don't just actually buy in cash. They go and get what's called a hard money loan. And hard money loans are how they buy the property and fund the rehab for the property. Now, typically, to get a hard money loan where they will pay for 100% of the purchase price of the property and 100% of the rehab, if you get really good terms, is going to be about 15% down, okay? So 15% of 400,000, say you're flipping a median home priced home, which is exactly what you want to do. Shoot, dude. So many distractions. So assuming you want to flip a median home price home, that's like, God, can't even get this out. There's some important stuff I'm saying here. My allergies are screwing with my vibes. Anyway, so assuming you want to flip a median home price home, you're gonna put 50% down, which means you need to have somewhere around $60,000 burning a hole in your pocket that you're ready to invest in a deal, okay? So startup capital required is a lot, okay? Fixing and flipping is not something that it is easy just to get into. Now, as far as time horizon, how long it actually starts making you profit, it's typically going to be about 6 months, okay? I'm going to give you 2 months, let's do 1 month to actually find the house you want to flip, okay? Find the house you want to flip and buy it. Then it's going to be another 3 months of actually doing work on the property, 2 to 3 months, depending on, how savvy you are, how much work needs to be done. But 2 to 3 months to actually do the work to the property to rehabilitate it so you're going to be able to sell it for more money. And then another 2 months of it sitting on the market and actually getting offers and waiting for close until it's sold and you're paid, okay? So it's about a 6 month deal. It's pretty long. Now, but not as long as some of the other strategies we're about to talk about. As far as potential profit, I've flipped houses before, and I'm friends with some of the biggest flippers in the industry, people who are doing, 30 projects a month. And most of the time, they're shooting to make about 10 to 12% of ARV in any given market, okay? Now, if in smaller markets where, it's less than 150 grand, that will go up somewhere around 15 to maybe even as high as 20% of ARV. But basically, we're talking about $40,000 profit per flip you're doing is kind of the norm. And that's after everything. That's actual profit, right? That's after paying all the realtor fees when you sell the house, after paying for the rehab, after paying all your interest payments on your hard money loan, after paying closing costs when you buy the property, everything, right? You're probably gonna walk away with somewhere about 40 G's. Now, of course, there are deals where you're gonna make more, there's deals where you're gonna make less, but I'm gonna say on average, $40,000, okay? So that's what you have to gain. So, startup capital, you need somewhere around $60,000 just to acquire these loans. It's gonna take you about 6 months, and you should make around 40 grand. Potential losses, though. Here's the deal. When you're flipping a house, you incur a lot of risks. Number one, what if the market where your house is goes down? Number two, what if your contractors, the people who are actually doing the work in the property, go over budget? Number three, what if it does not get done in time and there's more, they take too long? And right, because they are laying the tile down and they mess something up, they have to redo it. Not only does that cost you more money, but also is going to cost you more time, which means more time that you're paying your hard money loan, right? More months of interest, more things like that, right? Less time before it gets on the market, right? There's a lot of risk. What happens if you got your numbers wrong and all of a sudden somebody else flips a house in that neighborhood and they list it for super cheap, and now that's a comp bringing your house down, and now you sell it for even less than when you think it is? Essentially, there are a lot of things that can go wrong. Okay, there's a lot of things that can go right too, but there are a lot of things that can go wrong. And it can get you, okay? It can get you. So there are potential losses. I myself, my biggest loss I've ever taken on a real estate deal was from a fix and flip I did, where a lot of things went wrong. It was a flip in Texas, and it was also one of my first flips I ever did. Side note, don't flip a property in a different state that you live in unless you're very experienced. A lot of things went wrong. The first contractor I hired did terrible work. It all looked terrible. We had to redo it. A water line burst, and I had to pay a bunch of money for like flooding and just a water bill and to get it cleaned up. And basically I ended up losing about $40,000. I would have made 15 had I taken the first offer I got on the property. I just saw a Cybertruck. Those things are pretty, I love them. I think they're sick. Side note. Basically I could have made 15 if I had taken this first offer I got, but it was under my asking price, and I thought I'd be able to get more. And so I declined it, and then I ended up selling it for way less than that other offer was. So, you live and you learn. But yeah, that's by far also the most amount of money I've ever lost on a real estate deal. But it was a fix and flip. So that's strategy number one. Does that sound like a good strategy for beginners? No. All right, now let's talk about things like Airbnb, like being a landlord, like, right, buying a property for the intent of renting it out, making monthly income, whether it's Section 8 or it's an Airbnb. Okay. As far as startup capital required, you're going to need 20% for an investment loan, right? To buy an investment property, you'll need 20% down. So even more than a fix and flip. Now, can you buy these properties using creative finance? Yes. If you're savvy, you know how to negotiate seller carryback loans, seller financing, buying a house sub 2, things like that. Can you get into properties cheaper? Absolutely. However, most people don't know how to do that stuff unless they've wholesaled for a bit, okay? So that's where things change. But assuming you need 20% down, it's even more expensive. Oh wait, and also on flipping a property, I forgot to even talk about special knowledge required. You have to know, like, about houses. You have to know, oh, do I need to replace this roof? Do I need to replace this foundation? Do I need to replace the sewer? Do I need to replace the electrical, stuff? Do I need to redo the duct work? And knowing design. Like, you have to know what to do in the house, what kind of tile to use, how to do the kitchen. Do I need to knock down a wall? What kind of appliances do I get? What kind of countertops do I do? What kind of, and it's a constant juggling act of how nice do I make the stuff to get the most amount of money, but also needing to save money so that the thing doesn't cost me a lot of money, so my profit margins aren't all eaten up, right? There's a lot of specialized knowledge that comes into flipping. Anyway, back to being a long-term, landlord. Startup costs, very high. Potential profit, also very high, but a very long time horizon. Because here's the deal. Typically, on a rental property that you're looking at getting, most landlords, whether it's Section 8 or anything else, a home run smoke show deal is if they are profiting $300 to $400 a month on it, okay? And I'm being serious. So if you rent the property out for $2,000 and you have another 30% for 10% for maintenance, 10% for management, 10% for vacancies. So that's 30%, so that's $600. So we're at $1,400. And then let's say that your mortgage is $1,000, right? So that's $400 actual profit after all your expenses every single month. That's a smoke show deal, okay? To get a property that rents out for $2,000 that your mortgage is around $1,000 is basically you getting a very good deal. You typically have got to be a wholesaler to find that kind of deal. But basically, startup capital, very expensive, 20% down. Let's remember, median home price, $400 grand. So if you want to buy an average house, we're talking about $80,000. Now, like I said, would I ever have to do that? No. I have ninja moves, and I can, negotiate seller finance deals and sub-2 deals like most of my rental properties are. And also, you can do things other ways to get into the properties, like buy them using a hard money loan if you can get it cheap enough, and then add value to it, and then refinance out where all your equity is pulled out, and you really never even had to come up with any equity because it's just built into your purchase price because you added so much and got the property for so cheap. So there are ninja moves. But unless you know those ninja moves, this is not beginner friendly. As far as potential losses, here's the deal. God forbid, but let's say that you buy a rental property, you put 20% down, and you make sure that everything in the property is good, right? That it's livable and all this stuff, and it's good. And you put a renter in the property, and that renter turns out that they would like to start breeding pit bulls, and they start breeding pit bulls in your house, and these pit bulls start pissing and shitting everywhere and chewing up the walls, and all of a sudden your tenant stops paying rent. What do you get to do? Can you sue them for all the damages? Maybe. Are they going to even be able to pay them? Are you going to be able to collect on that? Probably not. What will you be able to get? Their security deposit of what? A month and a half's rent? That's not going to pay for all those damages, okay? I've heard so many horror stories of people try to become a landlord and they just get eaten alive because of bad tenants doing repairs, or bad tenants sign a lease and then just stop paying rent, and then you have to pay for an eviction with an attorney, and then that's expensive depending on what state you're in, right? There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Not to mention every little thing that happens, right? You're trying to make $400 a month. Every little repair that happens every single month that you have to pay for as a landlord is just eating into that money, right? Toilet breaks, boom, $250, $300. Oh, the AC goes out, $7 grand. Your entire year's cash flow wiped out, right? There are things like that can happen. Am I telling you not to buy rental properties? Of course not. But you need to know that really the real money is made in the tax savings of owning rental properties and the appreciation, right? And that takes a very long time, right? Because we're talking about basically we buy the house for $200,000 and we're hoping that 15 years down the road it's worth $400,000, right? But that takes 15 years. So the time horizon on making money with rental properties is very long. This is a very bad strategy for beginners, okay? Very bad. Is it a very amazing strategy for experts? Yes. But for beginners, it's not what you want to be looking to do. You should not be looking to buy rental properties and things like that until you are making a good amount of money where you can afford to do these repairs and things like that, right? And it's not a big deal. But anyway, that's that. I could talk about being a realtor, but you guys already know how I feel about that. Either way, look, here's the deal. Let's talk about wholesaling. Barrier to entry, nothing. How much you have to spend to get into these deals? $100 earnest money deposit, that's it? Yeah. What's the time horizon? You typically get paid in 30 days. How much can you risk? Like, how much can you lose on a wholesale deal? Nothing, right? How much can you make? The average wholesale deal is $20,000. Like wholesaling, it's a no-brainer of why beginners should get into it, because not only is it the easiest to get into, requires the least amount of specialized knowledge, has the least amount of risk, fastest money, but also it's going to teach you things that are going to allow you to do all those other strategies, and it's going to make you the money you need to be able to do those other strategies. So it's a no-brainer. It's what you got to get into. Anyway, I'm sitting here at the gym. My shoulders are still absolutely messed up. So it's really made the gym not so much fun for me, but we're still here anyway. Basically, I'm just going to do some biceps, some triceps, do my cardio, sauna, and we're going to get on with our day. Yesterday, I was on a podcast and I closed a deal. The first lead I called, locked it up, bought it, house in Florida. So later today, if I can get pictures back on that property, you guys are going to get to see me try and dispo that deal. So that should be fun, because that's kind of something different that I've ever done, is dispoing rather than doing the acquisitions live. So should be cool for you guys to see that. But yeah, we're going to go get after this workout now, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Might as well ask for my friends in Arizona.
Okay.
So tell me so what do you want to know about what we've got?
So I needed to get some information about each of the properties so that we can figure out and get you a price on all of them.
Okay. Well, they're older homes, as I told, is her name Ants? Ants?
Mary?
What is her name? No, I talked to her later. Well, maybe it's somebody else. But anyway, I've got several people looking at this property.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah, so what do you want to know? I mean, when you first come in, you probably looked at it on GPS. You can look at it on, Google it. But it's got, a duplex. You asked me the questions. I already told the gal all these questions. What do you want to know?
Okay, so first thing is I want to get and just make sure that we have all of the addresses correct. So for the first property, this is the one I have. I'm looking at 4.
And that is the 15 acres where everything is.
Okay, so everything is on this property.
Yes, and it's like 14.9 acres, okay, to be exact.
So this property, at this address, there is a structure I'm seeing that's 2,400 square feet. And is this the duplex?
Is it as you first come in the road?
Well, let me see here.
I can't,
Okay.
I'd have to go to
No, so I see what you're talking about. So, okay, I'm looking now. So from what I can tell, looking at this on GPS, you turn off of, and immediately to your right, there's going to be a property, right?
That's the duplex.
Okay, so 4230 is the duplex.
Well, we just, we don't do 4230.
Oh.
It's not like that. It's like, how do I say it? It's not like that. It's like that's number, whatever the duplex number is.
Okay.
Each number, like, the house to your left as you come in is number 15.
Oh, gotcha.
See what I'm saying? They don't have individual addresses because out front is all the mailboxes.
Yeah, okay.
And so they just have the number of the houses, on that property. It's not a separate address.
Okay. So is because I just want to make sure, because there is a lot of foliage, I want to make sure I'm not missing one of the properties. Is that one when you turn off the one to the right, is that the first actual structure?
Yes, and it's kind of white. Yes.
So I can't see a street view. However, I'm looking just sort of from the top.
Well, it's Coronadal's Road is the road it's on.
Okay.
But of course, we use all of we use Martha Truman Road for all of the places that are there.
Yeah.
It's 4100 Martha Truman Road, number 15, number 7, number, is like that.
Okay. So is what I want to do is so that first one, when you turn right, that duplex, what number is that?
Oh, God, I don't know. What is the number of the duplex? Do you know? The duplex, what do we call it? We call it A and B, 4100A and 4100B.
Okay, perfect. So 4100 A and B, they're both rented out, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are they do they have a lease, or is it month to month?
Well, they've been there so long, it's now month to month.
Okay.
Everybody's been there so long, it's now month to month.
Okay, so all of the leases are going to be month to month because we have super long-standing tenants.
Correct.
Okay. So first question is, are the tenants are they paying on time? Are they all good tenants?
Yes.
Okay. Let me make note of that.
We have it set up where they have to pay by the 5th of the month, to give them a little leeway, but
Okay. So, at 41A, how much are they paying a month?
okay. All right, hon. All right, $650 is for the B unit. $595 is for the A unit.
Okay. And you said that these tenants have been here for a long time?
Long time.
Okay. Perfect. And then do they cover the utilities, or is that something you pay for?
We pay, let's see, not on that unit. They pay their own utilities on the duplex.
Okay. And then, as far as the condition of the duplex, are there any repairs, anything that you might know of that would need to be done?
Well, I mean, I would probably, I don't know what you're, planning to do, kick them out and make it better. I would probably, I mean, they've got like the furnaces and everything is great. The A unit has a new refrigerator we just put in. I mean, everything works. All the, but I mean, as far as, you might be able to paint it, I would probably paint it and do that. We haven't done anything with it only because we just want to sell it because we just sold 120 acres and 80 acres just down the street where the lakes are.
Oh, yeah.
We sold that in May.
Oh, okay.
Last May. So a year ago.
Okay.
And so this is just that. See, what used to happen where that 15 acres is, there was a third lake. And so my husband's father built all this in 1920 something. He bought all of this property. And so the entrance used to be that 15 acres. That was the entrance to the first lake where all of the swim, fish, picnic was.
Okay.
Well, then that was divided. His brother Jim took that 15 acres and that one, the lake area, and then we built more. We just put the swim, fish, picnic in the large lakes down the road, on the 80 and 20.
Okay.
So that used to be the entrance, and so. We haven't done much with that. That was, nobody ever went up there. The people just loved it. And so it depends on, if you're planning to get top dollar, you're going to probably want to go in and maybe put in new carpet or, whatever you normally do when you sell something that's for cash.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is.
Perfect.
So.
Yeah, well, no, that makes exact sense. This is exactly what I'm trying to get at here. And, the reason why I'm asking, I mean, I'm already thinking about this. Your tenants have been here a long time. Of course, you've kept everything like up to date, made sure everything's working.
Yes.
But are there any of the units where you have gone in and made sort of like cosmetic repairs, like we're talking about, like redoing the paint, maybe new?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. In several years, we have not.
Okay.
We have not.
But am I fair to assume here that throughout all the properties, you're taking care of, there's not going to be any broken toilets or electrical? All right, so to make sure I have this right, so there's the duplex. We've got the A and B, both 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, $595 for one, $650 for the other.
Yep.
Then there's the other property on the left side, the single family. That's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath with a garage, and it's $765 plus utilities, but you're paying for the propane.
Yep.
Then there's the property that's a little bit of a mess.
Plus utilities. I mean, he pays utilities. We just pay the propane.
Gotcha. Yeah, got it.
Okay. All right, go on, please.
So then there's the property that hasn't been rented. That's a little bit of a mess, right? That might be a 2-1, might be a 1-1.
Well, no, yes.
Okay. And then there's the 2 other places at the end of the road where John...
No, wait. Now, there was one place that was that we haven't rented for a long time that's next to Allen. Allen's the one that has the other small place before you go to the end of the road. So you would have the single family dwelling.
Okay.
You would have, I think, the place that's not rented, that's, we haven't rented it in years. And then Allen's place is next to it. That's 2-bedroom, 1-bath, small, no garage. Now you go to the end of the road with the 2 houses.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Martha, I just want to tell you, thank you so much for bearing with me here and taking the time to explain all this to me.
No problem.
Okay, so I understand now. We've got the duplex. We have the 3 properties right there in the beginning, plus the duplex. You go down, there's the other 2 properties, and then there's the big house.
That's correct. Now, there is one more thing.
Okay.
If you didn't turn in, let's say you're headed west on, and you would make a right into where these houses are.
Uh-huh.
If you would go about 200 feet, this is still on the 15 property, there is the 15 acres, there is a garage, and that garage is rented. The guy's been there for a long time. He works on cars. It's not in the area where the families are. It's actually right off of Martha Truman Road, but still a part of the 15 acres.
Okay, I think I see it here. And so the garage is, it's like a sort of just a commercial building. There's nobody.
Yeah, it's just a garage. Yeah, it's just a garage that, he works on cars and he pays. I don't know the rent on that because he's always, it's a long story, but he pays rent to Robert. I'll have to find out how much that rent is if you need to know. He pays that directly to Robert. I don't know why, but he does.
Okay.
On the garage. The rest of those go into what we call Cronodal's investments.
Okay.
Those rest of all those properties go into Cronodal's investments. It used to be that John had some of those up there. Robert had some. Down on the 80 and 20 acres, there was rental property. John had some. Robert had some. So this garage has just stayed with Robert after we sold the others. Okay. So, but it doesn't matter because it's still a part of the 15 acres and will be sold with the 15 acres.
Okay. All right. I think I understand.
Okay.
Okay. So based on what you've told me, for these properties, including the garage, do you guys have an idea of how much you're looking to get for all of it? If we were to buy them, every single one of them, buy them entirely as is, so there wouldn't be, hey, yeah, we'll do that, but we need you to repair this, this, and that, right? Just buying them entirely as is. You guys don't have to pay to fix anything or anything like that. Do you kind of have an idea of how much you'd be looking to get for the...
I just need you to make me an offer, and I need to talk to Robert and John.
Understood.
Because remember, there's a lot of land that you could build onto there.
Okay.
There's a lot of, it's not just, houses right next to each other. There's a lot of property, woods, that's why they love it because it's so quiet. Yeah. And private. So, but anyway.
Okay.
So you think about it and you make me an offer, and I'll, in the meantime, talk to Robert, talk to Connie, his wife, and talk to John and tell them that you have an interest and that we're waiting to hear. Okay. What your offer would be. Okay. Now, would you please give me your name again?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Tyson Smith.
Tyson Smith. Can you text me, Tyson, your name and just your company name? And, I don't need your phone number because you've got mine. You can reach out to me. But I just want to keep you associated with the people that I'm talking to. I want to make sure I keep you straight.
Yes. All right. I'm going to text you to this number.
Yes.
I just said, hey, it's Tyson with WBHC. That's just We Buy Homes Cash. Okay,
perfect.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all of this information that you so kindly provided to me over to my underwriter. It's very likely that before we're actually able to get our preliminary offer, I'm probably going to have some more questions.
Oh, sure.
If I do, I'll just go ahead and give you a call back at this number.
Well, and I'll tell you, if you could text me the questions, because as I said, I've only been in this a year,
Yeah.
I could try to get the answers for you
Okay.
before we speak.
All right. Well, then I'll go ahead and do that then.
Okay, perfect. And then you can just say, is this time good for me? And is good for me? Is it good for you? So that way we can not miss each other on phone calls.
Okay. We'll do. We'll do.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Martha. You'll be
Okay,
hearing from me
Tyson.
soon. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, for anybody who was late to all of that, basically, my cold caller found. All right. Let me start from the beginning here. I am very aggressively trying to buy rental properties in Kansas City, Missouri right now. My cold caller, so I pulled a gigantic list of properties in Kansas City, gave them to my cold callers. They call people and say, hey, would you be interested in selling your property? And this person said, yes, I have 15 acres with a bunch of houses on it I want to sell. So I said, perfect. Give me their information. Let me call them. So that was me fact finding to learn about the property. And it's definitely something that I'm going to be interested in because there's a lot of good things going on. Number one, all the tenants are month to month. Number two, they've been there forever. Number three, they're all paying hugely under market rents. So there's a lot of value add to happen here, right? What this deal would look like is we're going to basically look at the current properties, incomes, expenses, things like that, and we're going to, from there, derive our offer price. And then we're going to look at what's it going to look like to get all these properties rented up to current market rents, fully stabilized, and then sell them to somebody else who might possibly go and develop on the land or something like that. But basically, we'll make a huge premium from doing so. So this isn't exactly what I'm looking for, where I'm looking to buy rental properties because I'd probably end up selling this. But, I mean, so this would be after a while, right? After I've stabilized and done all the value add I can, without doing any development because I'm not ready to step into those shoes yet. But very interesting deal. The one thing we don't know, though, is how much they want for it. So that kind of sucks. Right? That's something I always want to find out. Because now I have no idea at all, right? Even if we're in the same ball game or anything like that. And before I spend a bunch of time on something like this, I typically want to know that. So, how is AI Auto Leads doing? Rodrigo, it's awesome. Yes, massive upside because of the undervalued rents, for sure, right? Now, the problem is a lot of sellers will look at it and will be like, well, it could be way higher rents, right? And they're trying to get the value for the higher rents when it's not currently like that. So, yeah. Why'd you pick Kansas City? Variety of reasons. I believe it's an up-and-coming market. It's got the kind of price point I'm looking for. A lot of renters. Growing place. I like it, right? I feel like not only can I get good cash flow in that market, plus the market's going to see a lot of appreciation.